Issue 19. Has gender equality been achieved? For millennia, men have dominated, usually monopolized positions of power, wealth, education, opportunity, status, and personal freedom. Occasionally, a woman has intruded into these male domains and very infrequently has even surpassed the men, but these situations have been regarded as anomalies. However, more and more, men are losing their grip on the situation as more women rise higher in more fields. Are we approaching a period of sexual equality or a time of female superiority? Pictures talk. 1. Question number 1. Do you think women are discriminated against when it comes to job seeking? If so, how? Question number 2. Talk about the kinds of discrimination men and women suffer in the workplace. 2. Question number 1. Do most families still prefer baby boys over girls? Why do you think so? Question number 2. What about you? 3. Question number 1. Is it okay for your baby girl to behave like a tomboy? Question number 2. The saying is that boys should be boys and girls should be girls. What does it mean? 4. Question number 1. Do you think household chores are for women only? Why or why not? Question number 2. How does your family divvy up the chores?
5. Question number 1. Some say a college education for a woman is a waste of time and money. Refute them or argue their case. Question number 2. Is a college diploma really worthwhile for women who become stay-at-home moms? What about house husbands? 6. Question number 1. What is your opinion of house husbands? Question number 2. Would you consider becoming a house husband if your wife made more money than you? Would you want your husband to make that decision? 7. Question number 1. Do you think it's fair that only men are conscripted into military service? Question number 2. What do you think about giving an advantage to job seekers who have finished military service? Should they get any preferences in pay or promotions? 8. Question number 1. Among newlyweds, who is more powerful in everyday decisions, the husband or the wife? Does the situation change over time? Question number 2. Who should be in charge in financial matters?
Express yourself directly. 1. Men still comprise most of the CEOs, political leaders, university presidents, and so forth. Does this mean that a glass ceiling actually exists, or that relatively few women are actually qualified to hold these positions? 2. When it comes to downsizing, corporations are willing to rid female workers first. Does this show outright discrimination against women? Why or why not? 3. Some say if we elected a female president, our society would become more morally righteous because women are less corruptible than men. Agree or disagree? 4. Do you believe some form of violence against women still exists in our society? Explain your answer. 5. How do we protect women if society still thinks sexual harassment is a joke? 6. When is it possible to say we've reached a perfectly gender-equal society? Let's talk funny. Because. 1. I don't have to make money because my wife has a job. 2. I don't help my wife with household chores because I love her. They're good exercise for her. 3. I don't have to remember my wife's birthday because she always reminds me. 4. I try to overspend because it encourages my wife to earn more money. 5. I am poor. I can only afford to have one car, one house, one vacation abroad per year, and only $1 million in my account. 6. But I love my wife because she does everything for me. Questions. 1. Do you think he is poor? Why or why not? 2. Do you believe he really loves his wife? Why or why not? What does it mean? 1. Being a woman is a terribly difficult task since it principally consists of dealing with men. 2. I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves. 3. It matters more what's in a woman's face than what's on it. 4. I would have girls regard themselves not as adjectives, but as nouns. 5. Nobody objects to a woman being a good writer or sculptor or geneticist as long as she also manages to be a good wife, a good mother, a good-looking woman, and good-tempered.
6. Few men I can think of are as capable, as smart, as funny, as compassionate, and as remarkable as most women. 7. The reason there are so few female politicians is that it is too much trouble to put makeup on two faces. 8. We have begun to raise daughters to be more like sons, but few of us have the courage to raise our sons to be more like our daughters. 9. A woman is like a tea bag. It's only when she's in hot water that you realize how strong she is. 10. Men aren't really the enemy. They are fellow victims suffering from an outmoded masculine mystique that makes them feel unnecessarily inadequate when there are no bears left to kill.
Synopsis. 1.
I expect you to work twice as hard as the gals in the office for half the salary and none of the benefits. Oh, and bring me a coffee.
Yes, ma'am. Right away. My boss at work treats me the same way as my wife at home. 2. Men are the kings of the world with superior intelligence and ability.
Women like men to think so, because that way it's easier for us to manipulate them.
3.
Why should I pretend that men are stronger than I am? We both know that isn't true.
4. I'm busy doing important things. Don't bother me with menial tasks.
In that case, if they're so unimportant, I'll stop doing them too. Then I can do something meaningful in my life.
Then who's going to keep the house clean?
I don't know. Ask the dog if he has any spare time.
5.
With a good education, anyone can climb the ladder of success.
How did she get to the top? I don't know. She's supposed to be held back by taking care of her husband and kids. 6. I'm glad my wife and I traded positions. Now I can take it easy.
If he naps all day, we can all rest too.
I hope the wife doesn't come back. She'll make us work all day.
But at least with her, we worked in a clean environment.
7. Being in the military is like riding a rocket to success. I just hope it doesn't blow up while I'm on it. 8.
If you promise to be a good boy, I'll let you have a little bit more money this week.
I promise I can never do anything bad with the small amount of money you let me have. 9.
A good little woman is never outweighed by a bigger man.
10. Not many adult men are pampered like I am. I'm very lucky.
You poor little thing. Just let me take care of you and don't worry about a thing.
Why doesn't she take care of me? I should be in the baby buggy instead of him.
11.
I more than pull my weight around here, but nobody ever appreciates me.
If she ever decides to let go, we'll fall on our butts. 12. Control your temper.
Not until you control your bad behavior.
13.
It took me hours to apply this makeup. I hope men notice. I believe the right man will be able to look me in the face and know me for what I am. I don't want to distract him by hiding my true character.
14.
I insist on being the subject of my own life sentence, not just an object. The adjectives don't matter.
15.
A good temper means we smile at being kicked. Down with male patronization.
16.
In a crowd, all human qualities will manifest themselves, but also in a single woman.
17.
I'll support your candidacy as long as I'm sure you're not a two-faced hypocrite.
Don't worry about that. I have more than two faces. 18. I wish I could show my emotions freely like you do.
If you do, I'll knock you cold.
19.
It's harder to lift oneself out of a difficult situation without getting one's feet wet.
20. Why do I feel so out of place in the modern world? At least with saber-toothed tigers, I knew what I had to do to survive.